Welcome to the World of Biology through Jaguar classes from Jagran Public School, Noida. Today we are continuing with the chapter Principles of Inheritance and Variation, and in this part 4 we will cover the topics related with discovery of chromosomes, chromosomal theory of inheritance, about which I have given some introduction in the earlier part also, differences between chromosomes and chromatin, shape, size, and number of chromosomes, ultrastructure, types, and functions of chromosomes. After today's class, the expected learning outcomes, which are knowledge based, in which you will be able to understand the basic knowledge of chromosome structure and function, and you will have a recapitulation of the types of chromosomes on the basis of position of centromere. You can also be able to define terms related with chromosomes and chromatin. In skill based learning outcomes, you would be able to practice your listening skills after watching this video to describe chromosomal theory of inheritance, and you will also be able to critically analyze the parallel behavior of chromosomes and factors to correlate them with principles of inheritance. The competencies, as usual, that can be developed after today's class, if you will get the proper learning, then you can use your collaborative learning skills, and you can collaborate your learning with your critical thinking and problem solving skills for better communication and analytical skills. Now, let's start our today's class. With the chromosome structure and function. In today's class, we will cover the topics which are related with the chromosomal theory of inheritance. We will focus on chromosomal theory of inheritance with description of chromosome structure and function due to the various discoveries time to time done by the different biologists. In today's class, out of these 8 topics, we will focus on discovery of chromosomes, chromosomal theory of inheritance, differences between chromosomes and chromatin, shape, size, and number of chromosomes. Rest of the 4 topics we will talk in later on part of this chapter, when we will talk about the chromosomal aberrations and linkage and crossing over. Now, let's start with our first slide, which is showing you the discovery of chromosome with the time spent after the discovery of Mendel's factor. Mendel named the units of heredity as factors in his experiments when he has concluded the different principles of inheritance. Later on, when scientists studied cell division, they discovered nuclear structures that appear to double and divide just before each cell division, and these nuclear structures were called chromosomes. Actually, Mendel was also saying in his discoveries in his concluding points related with the heredity, when he has discussed about the factors, he also explained the same features or same characters that later on, after the discovery of chromosomes, have been found out by the different biologists. But at that time, Mendel was not able to uh, explain that where are these physical factors present, because at that time, when Mendel has studied the principles of inheritance, at the time there is no any such type of advanced microscope which can give rise the study of that different structures related with the nucleus. And now in this Gregor John Mendel, in this timeline you can see that In 1866, Gregor John Mendel studied the basis of heredity, which he has referred as factors, but in 1882, Walther and Fleming discovered the chromatin, which is a thread like network present in the nucleus of the cell. In 1888, Heinrich Waldier coined the term chromosome, and in 1902, Sutton and Boveri discovered the chromosome bear the unit of heredity, and at that time the rediscovery of Mendel's uh, discovery about the genetics has been started. And Thomas Hunt Morgan in 1910 also worked on chromosomes by providing experimental proof for the chromosomal theory of inheritance, which was given by Sutton and Boveri, but the experimental proof was given by the Thomas Hunt Morgan. Now let's discuss about the chromosomal theory of inheritance. As we know that in this chart you can clearly see that in G1 phase a diploid cell is undergoing the cell division, and G2 phase where doubling of chromosome is going on in this chart, and meiosis 1 where the segregation of that chromosome is going on, segregation or separation during anaphase 1. Here you can see that, and the concept of cell division you have already studied in class 11th, how these chromatid get segregated at the time of anaphase 1 in meiosis 1. In meiosis 2nd, formation of haploid gametes take place, that you can see here, and Sutton and Boveri explained that the Mendelian factors are actually genes. The genes which Mendel was whose function were Mendel describing as factors that were discovered later on after the chromosomal theory of inheritance, and Mendel's allele, the two alleles capital A small a or capital B small b, are basically present on the homologous chromosomes. And they also explain the parallel behavior of chromosomes and genes, means the characteristic feature of the factors that Mendel has suggested. Later on it has been discovered that chromosomes are also showing the same characters, that means genes which are in earlier time known as factors or given name the factor by Mendel later on studied that these genes are the basic unit of heredity and they are present on the chromosomes. Both of them occur in pair. That is the one important point of this parallel behavior. Chromosomes are also occurring in pairs. And about genes or factors, Mendel has also studied. Mendel has also concluded the same point. Second point, that is also showing the parallel behavior of chromosomes and genes. Both segregate independently at the time of gamete formation, as Mendel has suggested in his law of segregation. The gametes get separated due to the process of meiosis that has been proved when discovery has been done and chromosomes discovery has been done. Only one of each pair is present in a gamete. Mendel has also suggested in his that principle purity of gametes in second law of genetics, and later on about the gene, about the chromosome also the same thing has been observed. There is only one pair is present in a gamete. Now here you can see that how can we differentiate between chromosomes and chromatin. Chromosomes and chromatin are almost used, these two words are used in the same reference. The main difference are as follows. You, with the help of this table, try to understand. If we are talking about the feature of both these two, both of them, chromatin is unfolded, uncondensed DNA. That is known as chromatin. But after the cell division or during cell division, when it get condensed, then it is known as chromosome. Here you can see that this uncondensed or unfolded DNA structure which is shown here in primary nucleus or interphase nucleus, that is chromatin, but at the time of cell division it is get condensed and rod-like structures will form, which are known as chromosomes. Occurrence wise, we can differentiate between these two. Chromatin found, or we can see the chromatin at the interphase stage of the cell division, while during metaphase of the mitosis and metaphase 1 of the meiosis we can clearly observe these chromosome structures, means that chromatin get converted into more condensed form in metaphase, and then clearly they can be visible as rod like structure with two arms. Now have a look on shape of the chromosome. A chromosome often appears as a loosely coiled, thin thread-like structure, but the shape of chromosome is not constant. It can going on changing. When a cell is getting mature, it get start to get condensed, and at the time of cell division, when one cell divides into two, it converted into chromosomes with more condensed form, and chromosomes occur as a thin coiled elastic structure in earlier stages or resting phase, but in division phase, metaphase and anaphase, chromosomes become thick and filamentous, just you can see in this figure. Size of the chromosomes, if we want to know about the size of the chromosomes are never alike in size, and their length may vary from 0.2 micron to 50 micron, and their diameter may increase from 0.2 micron to 20 micron. Lamp-brush chromosome, which is shown here, a pair of lamp-brush chromosome, are special structures which are seen in oocyte of many animals except mammals, and amphibians and avian lamp-brush chromosomes are large enough to be visible under a light microscope. Means they can be that much longer in size also. Okay. Now let's have a look on number of chromosomes. The number of chromosomes in cells of each species always remains constant. In earlier classes also we have discussed about that, and there is a specific chromosome number for each and every species. Prokaryotes have a single circular chromosome diffused in a cytoplasm in nucleoid region that you can see here in a bacterial cell, and this is a extracellular structure or ring like plasmid, which is known as plasmid, that you will talk about in biotechnology. What is the role of that plasmid in prokaryotes? We are using it in various biotechnical uh, practices. Eukaryotes have more than one chromosome present in the nucleus, and here the structure of eukaryotic cell is there, and here are number of chromosomes vary species to species. A haploid, which is represented by N cell, contains one set of all the types of chromosome found in it, while a diploid or 2N cell contains two sets of all the types of chromosomes found in it, and these two sets in each pair, the similar or alike chromosomes which making a pair, they are known as homologous chromosomes. The two chromosomes of a pair are exactly similar in shape, size and structure, and bear genes controlling the same characters on the same loci. Loci means it is the plural form of locus. A particular position of a gene on a chromosome is known as locus, and many positions of many genes are known as gene loci on the chromosomes. Now here you can see that ultrastructure of the chromosomes. Here this is the chromatin that is shown here, and that condensed form of that chromatin, when it is converted into a condensed chromosome, there are three important parts: telomere, centromere and arm. Centromere is that central portion, that is known as telomere, and that is also known as arm. Chromosomes are highly condensed chromatin fibers formed during prophase, and during metaphase each chromosome consists of two exactly similar structures which are known as sister chromatids. These two are one this and one this, are which are jointed with the centromere, are known as sister chromatids. The two chromatids are joined together at a point called the centromere. This is the point at which they are joined with each other. And the terminal regions of the chromosome are known as telomeres. That terminal region is known as telomeres. Now, on the basis of position of centromere, there are four types of chromosomes. In class 11th also you have studied about it. Once again we are recalling it and recapitulating it because it is also with reference to the study of chromosome. Depending on the location of centromere, here you can see that one type of chromosome known as telocentric, where the centromere is one end, at one end of the chromosome, you can see here at one end. And acrocentric, the centromere near one end of a chromatid, so that chromosome has one arm is shorter and the another arm become large arm, and that type of chromosome is known as acrocentric. Here the position of the centromere fixed little bit here in towards the middle side, that is known as submetacentric. The centromere is slightly away from the center, so the arms are unequal here. But in this case, in metacentric chromosome, it is present, its location is in such a way that both the arms are equal in size, and such type of chromosome is known as metacentric chromosome. Now, what are the important functions of chromosomes that you should know? And once again, you can recall it. And here, in case of or in this chapter, genetics or heredity, they are playing a very important role, because the basic unit of heredity or which are known as genes are present on chromosomes only. So that's why they are bearer of heredity. They induce variations in the process of crossing over. They undergo mutations and contribute towards evolution. And they determine the sex of an individual. That's why they are also helping in sex determination, known as chromosomes or sex chromosomes or allosomes, on the basis of which sex is determined in various organisms. They also control protein synthesis and thereby control metabolism. This is all about the chromosomes, and about karyotyping we will talk about in later on stage. And today we will now focus because we are focusing on chromosomal theory of inheritance. That's why now watch this presentation to recapitulate the facts related with the discovery of the chromosomes and how this discovery can relate with the discovery of factors or genes.
Chromosomes. What makes us resemble our parents? Our genes do. Let's trace significant developments and discoveries related to heredity. Gregor Mendel's experiments with pea plants were the starting point for understanding how we inherit traits. 1866, Mendel concluded that certain factors are passed on from the parent organism to the offspring. 1882, the German scientist Walther Flemming discovered some strongly acidic thread-like structures within the nucleus. He named this mass of threads chromatin. 1888, Heinrich Waldeyer coined the term chromosomes for the thread-like structures discovered by Flemming. 1902, Sutton and Boeri put together the findings of Mendel and Flemming to propose that chromosomes bear the units of heredity. This is called the chromosomal theory of inheritance. 1910, Thomas Hunt Morgan provided experimental proof for the chromosomal theory of inheritance based on inheritance of characters in the fruit fly. Click a button on the timeline to revisit a discovery.
Now, come to
During cell division, chromosomes appear as thin thread-like structures in the interface. This is known as the chromatin network. As the cell enters prophase, the chromatin fibers begin to condense to form chromosomes. Chromosomes are most condensed during metaphase, which is why Their structure is clearly visible then. The metaphase chromosomes are duplicate. Each duplicated chromosome has two arms, a P arm and a Q arm. The arms are joined at the centromere. The centromere is called the primary constriction. All other constrictions along a chromosome are secondary constrictions. Sometimes, a secondary constriction can isolate a short chromosomal segment at one end. This part is known as the satellite. Chromosomes can also be classified based on the position of the centromere. Chromosomes types are telocentric, acrocentric, submetacentric, and metacentric. The number of chromosomes in a cell varies from species to species. The chromosomes bear the units of heredity called gene. Genes determine the expression of different characters in an organism. The complete set of chromosomes in a cell's nucleus is known as a karyotype. A karyotype describes the appearance and number of chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell. In unisexual organisms, there are two types of chromosomes based on their function. Allosomes are the sex chromosomes. They determine whether an organism will be male or female. Autosomes are the somatic chromosomes. They carry genes for all the other characteristics of the organism except sex determination. Here's how we can classify chromosomes based on their structure and function.
Now, this is the summary of the whole topic. And now, in the third session of this class, you will repeat this topic with the help of a video presentation, and this video in the form of 3D, by the help of which you will be able to understand the structure of chromosomes. How does it look like? And now see that and watch
Types
it
of
carefully.
chromosomes. Chromosomes are thread-like structures present in the nucleus of both plant and animal cells. They are made of protein and a single molecule of deoxyribonucleic acid, typically referred to as DNA, a genetic material of the organism. During metaphase, a chromosome consists of two components known as chromatids, which are in every way identical, including DNA. Chromatids are held together at a region usually at their center, known as the primary constriction, though more commonly referred to as the centromere. During mitosis, this is the point at which the spindle fibers will attach. The portions of a chromatid found on either side of the centromere are the arms. Based on the centromere's position, the arms may be of equal lengths, in which case they are isobrachial, or unequal lengths, in which case they are heterobrachial. Generally, only one centromere is present on the chromosome, meaning it is monocentric. In maize plants, the chromosomes are dicentric, meaning it has two centromeres. In such chromosomes, each chromatid will have three arms. Chromosomes without centromeres are referred to as acentric or holocentric. The entire surface of the chromatid functions as the centromere. Based on the centromere positioning on monocentric chromosomes, they may be categorized as one of four types: metacentric, submetacentric, telocentric, or acrocentric. In metacentric chromosomes, a centromere is centrally located. This gives the chromosomes a typical V shape that is seen during anaphase. The arms of this chromosome are roughly equal in length. Metacentric chromosomes are found in amphibians. In submetacentric chromosomes, the centromere is located just slightly off the center, resulting in two unequal arms that appear L-shaped during anaphase. Such chromosomes can be seen in humans. In telocentric chromosomes, the centromere is located at the tip, meaning that during anaphase, the chromosome is in the shape of a lowercase letter I. Such types are found in the common fruit fly, Drosophila. In acrocentric chromosomes, the centromere is located near one end, resulting in a long arm, and a very short arm which, during anaphase, takes on the shape of the letter J. Acrocentric chromosomes are seen in grasshoppers. Summary: chromosomes contain the genetic material and are passed from the parents to their progeny. Based on the number of centromeres on the chromosome, they are categorized as monocentric or dicentric. Monocentric chromosomes may be categorized as metacentric, submetacentric, telocentric, or acrocentric on the basis of the position of the centromere on the chromosome.
Now,
Acentric chromosomes lack a centromere.
with that, I think you will be able to understand the structure of chromosome, function of chromosome, and how this structure and function of chromosome relate with the that heredity as a unit of heredity. Genes are present on chromosomes and genes. That's why factors which are suggested by Mendel are and chromosomes which are present inside the nucleus are showing the same behavior as per the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Now I hope that this theory is clear to you and structure of chromosome.